Merry Christmas, everybody! Trevor here, and welcome to another unboxing video. And this Christmas, we'll be focusing on 5 of my presents, just for this video. Now, the reason why I'm focusing on 5 presents for this video is because if I showed off all of my presents this year, then people will think I'm selfish and greedy, and I don't want that. And besides, Christmas is about giving, not getting. And as usual, we'll be focusing on smallest to largest. So without wasting any more time, let's look at the smallest present I got. Here we are, the Ertl Miniature Trevor keyring. The reason why I decided to buy this is because I already have the diesel version, and I also wanted to get a secondary keyring just for my car keys and for my collection as a whole. And another reason why I decided to buy this is because I love the character Trevor since he's my namesake, and I like traction engines in general. Anyway, this is the box, or packaging I should say. And here's the back, and it shows different characters that you can collect. I'm not going to get all of them, just like 2 or 3. Anyway, let's open this up. Here we go. One thing I do like about this model is the sticker face, which happens to be on every single miniature engine, as well as the early die-cast versions of the Thomas characters, including Thomas himself. And yeah, unfortunately, this flywheel doesn't spin, so that's the only gripe I have with this model. But other than that, I still give this model like a 9.5 out of 10 stars. And I highly recommend you pick this up if you like Trevor the Traction Engine, that is. Or if you want to get a key ring just for your own car keys or backpack or whatever. Anyway, let's focus on the next package. The next one is a Plarail item. And my Plarail item for this Christmas is the red Dynamite truck with bouncing crates. Now, the reason why I decided to buy this is because I already have the blue and green versions for Plarail, so I thought to myself, maybe I should get the red one as well. And I do like the packaging of this so far. Come on, open. Sorry if I'm making a mess. Here we are. And if you roll this down the tracks, the crates bounce up and down like this. And how this works is because it has these little treads right here that cause it to go up and down. So overall, I'm glad I got this. Now that I've completed the 3 colored trucks with bouncing crates, I'm going to give this model like a 10 out of 10 stars. And if you like trucks with bouncing crates like this one, I highly recommend you pick this one up on eBay for a cheap and fair price. Now anyway, let's move on to the next one. Now, I was originally going to get the 12-ton vans for Bachmann this year, but due to budgeting constraints, I decided to buy this instead because it's cheaper. And I honestly want to talk about my honest thoughts on this troublesome truck number 4 because it looks strange because of this CGI face right here. I'll show you why. And here we are, troublesome truck number 4. Now, the most unusual thing about this troublesome truck is its CGI face. It looks kind of off. It looks like a combination between the CGI face and one of the classic molded faces from the model series. I don't know, it just reminds me of one of those trucks. However, I do like the green paint and the other details on the sides and the back and inside. And technically, this is a repaint of one of the 16-ton M trucks for Bachmann, which I'm probably not going to get because they're too expensive and hard to find. But I think this one's enough for now in terms of those types of trucks. So aside from the unusual CGI face, I give this model like an 8.5 out of 10 stars. Sure, it looks good, but the CGI face looks kind of off. I kind of wished it was more like the model series rather than an early CGI era face or something like that. I don't know. But still, it's a really nice model. And if you like troublesome trucks, I suggest you get this one along with troublesome trucks 1 to 3, which I already have. I might get troublesome trucks 5 and 6, but I'm not going to promise that right now due to budgeting constraints. The last two presents we'll be looking at are 2 of the wooden railway items from the Mattel Shop website. Let's start off with the Celebration Engines 5-pack, which I'm going to open right now. And here we are. Now, one thing I like about this packaging are the silhouettes of the Steam team members, like Emily with the number 12, Percy with the number 6, and Thomas with the number 1. Oh, and there's also James and Gordon as well. So yeah, and I also like that it says Wooden Railway Celebration Engines right here. And it has Fisher-Price on the side. Now let's see what's inside the box, shall we? Ooh, look at you, look at that. This is another thing I like about this packaging, is that right here, it has an illustration of Thomas, Percy, Gordon, and James in their celebration forms, along with a cake car, which I'll get into later. And it includes celebration versions of Thomas, Percy, James, Gordon, and a birthday cake cargo car. Sorry about that. Let's look at the cargo car first. Sorry about that. Now, one thing I don't like about this birthday cake cargo car is that it looks nothing like the illustration that I just showed off. You know, like, sorry, right here. If you make a comparison between the two, it just looks off. I mean, the cake is supposed to be yellow instead of white, but I guess that makes sense since this outer part here is yellow. But I do like it has cupcakes on each of the sides, like here and back here. And it looks like it's pretty much the same thing. Same for the cake. Yeah, but the cargo car itself does look pretty nice. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to buy this pack. Oh, and speaking of which, the reason why this was made is because to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Railway series. So yeah, let's look at the engines individually. Man, they're hard to get out. Anyway, I like this Thomas because it has the face that's seen in that figure 8 set of 2022. And I also like the bunting and the confetti on the sides. And yeah, it looks really nice. Although I find it odd that the hubcaps here are white instead of, you know, blue. I don't know why they decided to do that, but oh well. And I also like the buffer beam and the buffers. That looks really nice. Though it could have been put right here as well, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. And now let's look at Percy's model. One thing I like about this Percy model is that the face looks different than his other incarnations. Like, instead of a shocked face or an anxious face, it has a happy face with him looking at the little confetti and stuff. Oh, I also like that he has balloons on the sides. I like the star balloon. That looks really nice. You know, the star balloon right here. Now, anyway, like Thomas's model, Percy's model looks great too. And I'll get into James and Gordon in a second. So yeah. And as I stated before, this pack was made to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the TV series. Let's focus on James next. Okay. Let's look at the positives first. One thing I like about this James is that he has fireworks on the sides and on top. Yeah, he looks really cool. And I also like his face right here because it makes him look more smug or smirking, I should say, or something like that. I don't know. But there are a couple things I don't like about this James. For one thing, do you see the blue specks in his eyes? Yeah, I don't know why they're there, but I guess it's confetti or something. I'm not sure. And another thing I don't like about this James is that he looks way too big compared to his previous incarnations. For example, in the golden age of Wooden Railway, he had 6 wheels instead of 8, which makes sense since James is supposed to be medium-sized and smaller than Gordon, which I'll get to later. But at the same time, I can understand why Mattel made this decision, just so he has all of his wheels, including his little pilot bogey wheels, or whatever you call them. But still, it's a nice model, and I like that he has his brass dome as usual. It looks really nice. Now let's move on to Gordon's model. Here we go. Gordon's Celebration model. Now, in my honest opinion, this is the best Celebration model out of all the other engines in this pack. Because for one thing, not only has confetti on the sides, but also these flags and this bunting right here, whatever you call it. I think it's bunting. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at memorizing what bunting is. But the best part of this model is that his face here looks like his classic face from the model series. I guess that's a reference to Thomas Down the Mine or something like that. I'm not sure, but it does look really nice. I was expecting it to be a CGI face as usual, but I'm surprised they did a classic face on this model. It just looks really nice. So yeah. Now, despite my gripes with some of these models, I still think that this pack is overall great, and a great way to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Thomas & Friends TV series. I'll give it like an 8.5 out of 10 stars, just to be nice. And I highly recommend you pick this up before it gets discontinued on the Mattel Shop website. Now, with those things out of the way, let's focus on my very last present, which will be another Mattel Shop exclusive. And this time, it is the Sodor cargo delivery set. And like the last one that I showed off, this one is only available for a limited time, which is pretty sad if you ask me. Let's open this up.
One hour later.
Sorry it took so long. It just took me a while to open this baby up. But anyway, here are the contents. And like the last packaging, this one also has a special illustration inside. However, my only problem with this illustration is that Thomas's face looks tilted, which reminds me of a scene from Journey Beyond Sodor. Yeah, I don't know why they decided to do that. That's just odd. That's just All Engines Go levels of odd. And bad, if you ask me. But still, everything else looks nice, especially the cargo cars right here, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And as I said before, here are all the contents. And this also includes instructions on how to build this set. And it also shows how to build Cranky the Crane, which I'll talk about more in a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to cut the video right here so I can get all the stuff out. Okay, so I've assembled the set, including Cranky himself right here, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But first, I want to focus on Thomas and the freight cars. One thing I like about this Thomas is his determined face right here. And I also like that he has apples on this side and packages on the other side. In other words, he's collecting both apples and mail at the same time, which I thought is a neat touch. And it also reminds me of another Thomas model with the same feature, but with different features, like, you know, the Thomas with rocks and critters from that figure 8 set. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. This is kind of like this, except instead of critters and rocks, it's apples and mail. So I think that's a nice touch, but the face is the best part because it makes him look more determined and daring. And speaking of apples and mail, let's look at these freight cars. I like that one's purple and the other's yellow, which remind me of the colors for Spyro the Dragon. And each of the cargo pieces has mail and apples. And as you can see, these cargo pieces are different on each side. Pretty cool, huh? And now I also want to talk about the destination track pieces. One says Sodor Shipping Company with a removable stand. And the other is the Apple Orchard, which also has the same feature. And you know what? These remind me of another stand from the Figure 8 set, which I thought was pretty cheap, but also pretty cool at the same time. Yeah, I wonder if we'll get more track pieces like this someday. Maybe in 2025 or something? I don't know. And now, one more thing I want to talk about for this set is Cranky himself. This is the only lazy thing about this set, is that I kind of wish that this Cranky had a different face or even some bunting on the sides just to celebrate the 40th anniversary. Oh wait, that's the Celebration Engines 5-pack. That's not that. Now, I understand why Mattel made this decision right here, is to reuse models of Cranky's new model. But at the same time, if you look at this illustration right here, Cranky has a smirk or determined face. So I think they should have done the same thing with this Cranky model instead of reusing his old unhappy face. Hopefully someday they'll make a happy Cranky or a shocked Cranky or something. I don't know. Another problem I have with this set is that this set doesn't even include Bulstrode or that lift thing that Cranky lifts, which carries engines and rolling stock easily. You know, like that lift thing that was in the Brenham Docks pack of 2022? Yeah, I don't know why they didn't include that. Instead, we got wood adapters and this bumper right here. But that's okay. It's better than nothing. It could have been a lot worse. But other than that, like the Celebration Engines 5-pack, I'd give this whole set an 8.5 out of 10 as well, because it's only available for a limited time, and I highly recommend you buy it before it's too late, because it's going to get discontinued once January 2025 comes. So in conclusion, the Ertl Miniature Trevor keyring gets a 9.5 out of 10 stars, the Bachmann Troublesome Truck number 4 gets an 8.5 out of 10, the Red Dynamite truck for Plarail gets a 10 out of 10, and these Mattel Shop exclusive wooden railway items get an 8.5 out of 10 stars. So anyways, thanks for watching and Merry Christmas. If you've enjoyed this unboxing video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, and click the bell icon to be notified for my latest uploads. I know I keep saying that a lot, but it's a force of habit of mine. Now, if you all excuse me, I'm going to add this to my car keys.